Hello, everyone, and this is Caleb and Tiger from Instinct. I don't know why I couldn't remember what the fuck our channel's called. Anyways, we're
What's the name of our internment camp?
yeah, Auschwitz.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, we have something special planned. We wrote a fan fiction, 2 years ago. It's exceedingly cancerous, and it's about a certain sponge who lives in a pineapple under the sea. All right. So SpongeBob Squarepants, and the Krusty Krab Calamity. It was another day in Bikini Bottom. The sun was shining, the scallops were chirping, and the local meth dealer was howling at a dumpster. But there was one thing that was about to not be as harmonious as everything else. A large foghorn could be heard emanating a deafening blare of sound. The square yellow sponge sleeping next to it finally was awoken by it.
8 o'clock? I'm gonna be late!
Said the usually perky sponge. His name was SpongeBob Hussein Squarepants, but most people just called him SpongeBob. SpongeBob quickly got out of bed, opened his closet, and sifted through his dildo collection to find some clean pants. After moving his automatic whipper, SpongeBob found a pair. His pet, Gary, meowed at him while he got dressed. SpongeBob patted the snail on the head and then proceeded to dive out his bedroom window. Once on the ground, SpongeBob pushed really hard and his hat popped out of his anus. SpongeBob put the hat on and started skipping down the road towards the Krusty Krab. The entire way there, SpongeBob kept saying, "I'm ready," in a disturbing sing-song voice. SpongeBob bursted through the front doors of the restaurant.
I'm ready!
He said excitedly. Squidward could be seen reading one of his porno mags hidden inside of Dance Quarterly. It was squid mating season, and unfortunately Squidward would not be able to make the trip, which meant one of his tentacles were slightly shaking, waiting to be ripped off and stuck in some octopus. This is seriously how cephalopods mate. SpongeBob walked into the kitchen and started to grind up the live children that would be made into the grease for the boiler. Mr. Krabs walked in and started yelling, "What in the blue balls are you doing, you little square cockoy? Yar!"
I'm grinding the children like I do every morning!
SpongeBob explained. "Well, you're not doing it hard enough, boy! Yar!" replied Mr. Krabs.
Sorry, Mr. Krabs. I was up all night performing my weekly satanic ritual. Those things take a lot out of you.
"I don't care if you were praising Satan or the Cadbury Blimmin' Bunny. Just grind harder! Yar!" After being given those orders, SpongeBob realized it was time to kick it into overdrive. He started chucking those kids into the grease maker one after the other so fast that it would make a crack could go. "Slow down, man!" Soon the freshly made child grease started to overflow out of the vat and flood the kitchen. It wasn't long before it flowed into the dining area. Patrick saw the puddle and said,
"Oh yay, the blood of the innocent!"
Patrick then proceeded to drag his gluteus maximus over the growing spill.
"I usually have to kill for this,"
Patrick announced. Back inside the kitchen, Mr. Krabs was about to lose his mind. "You're wasting money, Boyle! How many kids do you think I can abduct today? Fix this!" "Yar!" Mr. Krabs scolded. SpongeBob finally notices that he might have overdone it a little, so he quickly leaps into action, only to then fall back to the ground because there was nothing to leap to since it was right in front of him. SpongeBob utilized his sexy absorbent body to suck up all the child grease. As the grease receded, Patrick went from giggling with glee to being sad.
"Aww,"
lamented Patrick. With all the child grease now in SpongeBob's body, he was now completely swollen, shiny and sweaty with a slightly orange skin color from the copious amounts of grease dripping from his pores. Squidward turned around to see what was going on, to see the voluptuous sex object in front of him. His tentacles started to pulsate violently at the sight of this gorgeous blob of a sponge. The thoughts started to race through his mind, lustful thoughts. He had to have them. He didn't care what people would think. He had to satisfy these urges. SpongeBob squealed as a tentacle rocketed into his hole. And I mean the hole. No, not the holes you usually see. I mean his hole. SpongeBob then fought to get the tentacle out of his mouth. What hole did you think I was talking about? Anyway, Squidward could be seen slouched in his cashier boat with one less tentacle and a satisfied look on his face. Unfortunately, SpongeBob wasn't able to reach the tentacle in his mouth while in this bloated form. The tentacle for... Oh my god. So fucking gross. Why did we write this?
because we thought it was funny.
The tentacle proceeded further down his esophagus, squirting baby juice, not to be confused with child grease, down his throat. SpongeBob didn't know what to do. If he released the grease in order to shrink down, then Mr. Krabs would get mad. But if he didn't shrink down, then he would choke to death on the squirting tentacle. This was a truly puzzling predicament indeed. Luckily for him, there was another option. Sandy Buttcheeks had walked into the restaurant for a meal and had realized the urgency of the situation. She quickly used her yoga skills to chop the tentacle in half. Unfortunately, that didn't cut it in half, but instead caused it to squirt even more baby juice. The baby juice just kept squirting and squirting until SpongeBob couldn't breathe. The baby juice started to come out of his eyes and ears, and SpongeBob fell to the ground, dead. A good distance away from the scene, in her house, Mrs. Puff suddenly feels very happy, and she does not know why. The end, I suppose. Why did we write this? Jesus.
It just shows how cancerous we are.
Oh, God.
In past and present. Exactly.
Yep. That's gonna be a lot of editing, Tiger.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait.
I suppose I should do an outro, which you can cut to.
Okay.
Anyways, so I'm so sorry that you had to hear that. This was Caleb and Tiger reading a Morons fan fiction.
Everything is ready. I just need to wait. Just need to wait. Why am I singing? I don't know. All I know is that I'm gonna be now talking. Just gonna keep talking.
Yeah. No, don't stop on my account. It was another day in Bikini Bottom. The sun was shining, the scallops were chirping, and the local meth dealer was howling at a dumpster. Shit, I can't laugh while doing this. Straight face. Alright. But there was one thing about... What? Vietnamese... Grammar was lacking for us.
Yeah.
Grammar was lacking for us. Alright, hold on. Take two.
Yeah, like I'm gonna cut this out.
You say cut it out like it's hard. It's not hard to cut something out, Tiger. If that's within my abilities, it's within your abilities.
Yeah, I think it was more just me trying to cut things in Movie Maker was very frustrating for me, but now that I have Vegas, it will probably be a lot easier.
Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start over and then you can catch me reading there. It was another day in Bikini Bottom. Fuck.
Oh, this is gonna be fun to edit.
Look, you have material for the outtakes. But there was one thing that was a... Why can't I just make a video, Tiger?
Just continue from butt.
But his name... Fuck, every time I look at it, it makes me laugh.
The problem is just his name. It's just his regular name, right? There's nothing off about it.
Okay, alright. Alright, 3, 2, 1. His name was Spongebob Hussein Squarepants, but most mm. 3. Fuck! I can't even. God damn it! I got the giggles.
Well, SpongeBob's a comedy show. SpongeBob Hussein Squarepants is here to help.
Okay. With all the child grease now in SpongeBob's body, But what?
Now it's stuffed in Patrick.
Alright.